Hello, and welcome to a recorded demo of the NorthSeas Guardian system. The duration of this demonstration is approximately 15 minutes. My name is Stephen Spence, and I'm the CEO of NorthSeas. The reason the CEO is doing this demo is to offer proof of how easy it is to use. If I can use it, anyone can. Before we begin, let me provide you with a short explanation of the NorthSeas solution. NorthSeas email archiving software was specifically designed to be embedded in an appliance solution. In addition to NorthSea's own product, the NorthSeas Guardian, this functionality is available from a number of other vendors who license our software for their own email archiving solutions. With our system, the message flow of incoming mail, internal mail, and outgoing mail remains unchanged. A copy of each message is bifurcated and sent to the NorthSeas appliance where it is indexed and archived. The archiving process includes writing a copy of the message to whatever store system the customer chooses as its archive in a vendor-neutral file format called RFC 822. Users can search for their archived messages using a browser-based tool called Search and Replay. If needed, a copy of any archived message can be replayed back to the user's inbox through the mail server currently in place, even if that mail server is new. This is one of the advantages of storing the message in the RFC 822 format. It might also be important at this point to highlight that messages are archived at 0 hour, at the time they pass through the mail server. Appliance solutions using NorthSeas software are vendor independent. The customer is free to change its mail server without losing access to archived messages. Uses any network storage as its archive. Accordingly, the cost of email storage is typically less than $5 per year for each user. NorthSeas systems are appliance simple, easy to deploy, use, and maintain. Now let's look at the NorthSeas Guardian user interface. There are three classes of users in the NorthSeas system. A user who has access to his or her own messages only, an administrator who has access to the entire archive as well as the configuration settings, and an operator who has access to the entire archive and can view the configuration settings but cannot change them. I'm going to log on as an operator. But the initial functionality we're going to look at is the functionality available to a user. Only the first three items in this menu list will be available to a user: search and replay, user profiles, and alias and designated users. Let's choose search and replay. This is the first page that a user would typically see. This is the quick search option. In the upper right hand section next to email user, if this was a user logged in, this email address would be grayed out. As an administrator or operator, I can replace that with a period or an asterisk in order to search across the entire archive. If you look at the criteria on this page, you can see it's a very simple page to understand. Messages, search for messages that are sent or received, messages from specific users to specific users, messages with particular words in the subject field, and a drop-down list of when options. If I want to do a more advanced search, I click on the advanced search option and it gives me a few extra choices. I can search for words in the message body. In addition to the drop-down menu, I can also specify a date range for when that message was sent or received. I can search for messages with attachments and messages with particular attachment names, or in this case, I'm looking for any email with an Excel spreadsheet attachment. I can look for messages that are of a particular size, in this case larger than 10 megabytes. And finally, I can specify the number of messages that meet the criteria that I search for to be displayed. I'm going to search the archive now for a very important email that I had deleted from my inbox. The message was sent to me, so I received the message from Bob Jones. And if I'm not mistaken, it had the word raise, which is why it's important that I find it in the message body. So once I've entered the criteria that I have, I then click on search. We're now looking at the list page. The list page is a list of email messages that met the criteria that I searched for. And as you can see, it's a very easy page to understand. It shows me the date, was there an attachment, the size of the message, who it was sent to, who it was sent from, and the subject line. Now from this list I know which message that I may want to replay, I simply click on the checkbox on the far right column and enter the email address that I want to replay it to. Once again, if I was logged in as a user, I would not be able to change the email address in the upper right hand corner. This would be my own address and it would be grayed out. Now let's say that I don't know that this is the message that I want. So I want to take a view of the message, a preview of the message before I decide that I want to replay it, or maybe I just simply want to read it online. So on the far left hand side, if I click on the preview icon, it opens up a view of the message while it's still in the archive. This is why this particular view does not look like an Outlook message or a Notes message, because it isn't. It's a raw file. So across the top of this page, we'll see some of the options that are available. I can replay the message from this view. I don't need to go back to the list page. I can print the message. If I go to the far right side, if this is not the message, but I think the next one is, I can just simply click on Next, and it will replace this preview with a preview of the next message. The other options that are available, New, Reply, Reply All, and Forward, collectively form what we call stand-in mail services. I can reply to a message, I can forward a message that's in my archive without the requirement of using a mail server. This is really a nice feature to have in those very frustrating times when the mail server is down, even for an hour or two. Users can still view messages in their archive. Remember, we archive at 0 hour. But they can also act on those messages. I can even, as you can see with the New button, I could even compose and send a new message. So this looks like the message that I need. It says, Sam, your job is being reclassified, and the good news is there's a raise in that job for you. Please respond to Sally as soon as possible so she can tell you what the form is you need to fill out. Okay, I think I better replay that message. So I've now replayed that message, and messages can be replayed either individually or they can be replayed from the list page in bulk. I could select all and then replay all. In this case, I only wanted to replay the one message. So let's just toggle over to my inbox and see, yes, there's the message. It's already been replayed. If I open up that message, you can see that this is in fact the same message that we were just looking at in the archive, and it's now in my Outlook, so it looks like an Outlook message.